Alright, so Piggy Chapter 9 is officially out, and in this video, I'm going to be going over some pretty spoilery stuff. We're going to be talking about and revealing who the shadowy man is at the end of Chapter 9, the cliffhanger that it ends off on. We're going to be talking about the secret reveal that Miss P is alive. She's actually in the map. She's in Chapter 9. She's in the city. I'm going to show you guys where she's at and what she's doing there. And then we're going to talk about some other secret stuff, like some secret notes and what they reveal. So let's get into this. So I'm assuming most of you guys have probably played Chapter 9 by now. A lot of new Jailbreak players too are probably coming over because of the upcoming Piggy Jailbreak event, and you guys might have realized that it's a little bit more difficult than the last ones. The Piggy in this map is a little bit faster. You know, the stinky little elephant runs a little bit faster than the other ones. Obviously, you got to deal with Grandma Piggy as well, but if you do manage to get past them and you do manage to escape to the safe house, some pretty interesting stuff is revealed. So I'm going to read this from the wiki here because it gives a quick recap, and then we're going to talk about the Shadow Man. So once you get past the gate and you get into the safe house, Zizzy asks what you were doing before all of this, and you say you're basically, you know, you were a police officer, you're looking for George. So Pawnee tells you he was trying to become an optometrist just like his father, and Zizzy says that she was a fencing coach. She also says that she has sisters that she also taught fencing to, and that they are in the safe place right behind them. Zizzy basically asks what you were doing in the carnival, and you explain to her that you're looking for Mr. P and that he is infecting people, and you know, you're trying to figure out what's going on. Zizzy then says that you can stay at the safe place and try and figure out where Mr. P is from there, but then the Shadow Man makes some noise in the background. Now, who is the Shadow Man? Because at first, I think most everyone assumed that he's probably a bad guy. This guy was probably a bad guy. He kind of looks like a bad guy. He's kind of looking at you, stalking you from the shadows. Probably a bad guy, but that would be wrong. So the Shadow Man, and I'll tell you who he is here in a little bit, it's actually not a bad guy, and that's because everybody that gets infected so far in the story is very, very aggressive. As soon as they see you, they attack you, no matter what. And this guy, obviously, he was staring at you for a while, and he didn't attack, which means he's not a monster, he's not infected, he's not a piggy. So that means that this is probably a friendly character. It's probably a friend. So who could it possibly be? And a lot of people have joked that Sans, this could be Sans, you know, maybe there's a rumor going around that could be Sans, but I actually don't think it's Sans. I actually think it's a brand new character. And the reason why is if you go through all of the characters in the game, you literally go through all of them, you're going to notice a few things. Number one, they all have ears, or they all have some sort of accessory that makes them very easy to depict who they are. If we look through this list of characters, you can see they all have ears, they all have some sort of hat, they all have some sort of wings, or something that would make them very obvious to tell that it's them. The Shadow Guy doesn't have ears, he doesn't have a hat on, he doesn't have anything on his back. It's literally just a circular head. That's literally it. So if it's not any character that we've currently seen in the game, and we haven't seen any other human characters in the game besides us, maybe we're human, we actually don't know that for sure. We're just kind of a Roblox character, so we're kind of just there. So I'm going to assume that everyone else is also an animal, and that they're probably from the Piggy cartoon. Now, if we go and we look through the Peppa Pig cartoon character list, we're going to notice a few things. Number one, we've already gotten a majority of these characters. Peppa Pig obviously can't be in the game for copyright material. George Pig got infected. He's already in the game. Mom Pig already, all of these are already in the game. This is Zizzy. We got the sheep. We got the rabbit. Here's the pony. We've got actually the giraffe is not in the game yet, but we got Fox. There's the elephant, the dog, the cat, Foxy there. But we do not have these two, the mouse and the mole. Now, obviously, mice, they have ears, but moles actually don't. I know they're depicted as having one in the show. Here you can see they have two little ears, but in reality, they don't actually have ears. Now, I'm not going to look up a picture of a mole because that would just, quite frankly, be a little bit weird, but you can do it yourself. Moles do not have ears. So I'm willing to bet that this character right here, the one digging through the trash can, the one looking in the trash, is actually Molly Mole from Peppa Pig. That's who I think it is. You guys can let me know who you guys think it is down below in the comment section, but I'm willing to bet that that is Molly Mole. Now, moving on to the next big reveal, that is that Miss P is actually alive. Who is Miss P? What is she doing? What is her relation to Mr. P? Is she evil too? We actually don't really know all of that yet, but we do know she is alive. So obviously at the end of chapter 8, we saw a picture of a little photo frame of Mrs. P in the ending cutscene, and we all kind of assumed that something happened to her, something was going on with her. Well, actually, in this map, if you go onto the rooftop of the map and look in the windows of the buildings, you're actually going to see a silhouette of Miss P, and you can tell it's her because she has the flower in her head, and well, actually on her head. I guess a potato doesn't really have hair, so it has to be on her head, but the flower is there, and it matches up with the photograph that we saw in chapter 8. So Miss P is in the city in that building. Why is she there? We don't know. Now, she could be watching you. Obviously, she's looking out the window at you, so I'm guessing she's not infected. Otherwise, she would be trying to attack you. But other than that, we don't really know exactly why she's there. Obviously, in the show that this is based on, Peppa Pig, they're not exactly related. Mr. P and Miss P, they're just friends, so maybe they're friends here too. Obviously, the game here, Piggy, and the show, Peppa Pig, has to have a little bit of differentiary stuff in it because copyright reasons. So, I mean, they could be sisters, they could be brothers, they could be husband, wife, could be a daughter, I don't know, but she is there in the city watching you. Now, there are some other interesting stuff in this chapter, specifically 2 more notes. And these 2 more notes were all denoted with the TSP tagline. So this is what it says. It says, news of a cure has been going around, funded by Mr. P. Let's hope all goes well. So obviously everyone knows who Mr. P is. He's funding the hospital and he's trying to find a cure. And then we see a note that says, we need to start recruiting soon. I'll start with my closest friends, TSP. Now, what I think is going on here, and I don't really know what TSP stands for, maybe, you know, like thick super piggies or something. I actually don't know. You guys can let me know down in the comment section. But what is important here is that this note here, this chapter actually, as far as the notes go, takes place before the carnival. So what happened was TSP, which is probably Mr. P and some friends, probably Foxy and Sheepy, they probably started this group here, this TSP group. Now, for a long time, everyone, including me, assumed that TSP was just one person, but it's actually not, because it says, I'll start with my closest friends. We need to start recruiting. So it's a group of people. So what I think happened here is TSP, Mr. P, started this group with his 2 friends, Foxy and Sheepy. Obviously, they got infected, Sheepy in the forest, and then Foxy got locked in the cage in the carnival. Now, in the carnival cage, there's a note from Foxy that says, hey, why did my friends do this? Why did they leave me in here? Obviously, he was betrayed by someone, which is probably Mr. P, who was the leader of that group. So we can assume that the other 2 people in that group are probably gone now, Sheepy and Foxy, and it's probably just Mr. P left. Now, why is Mr. P doing all this? We don't exactly know yet. I don't think he started the infection, but obviously he is infecting people to try and find a cure of it, which makes him pretty evil, but we don't really know anything beyond that yet. One thing we do know is there is actually a letter in the grandma kitchen shop in chapter 9 that talks about George the pig. Apparently he has some family that's in the city that's apparently in the safe house with you, and he's hoping that George the pig is okay because he kind of skedaddled out of there when everything started going crazy. So I don't think George is okay, but maybe he is. We don't exactly know the fate of him yet. Now, as for what I think chapter 10 is going to be, currently there are 12 projected chapters, but I think chapter 10 is probably going to be some sort of alleyway chase or something. You're trying to track down this mole, and it's kind of weird because it's never ended on a cliffhanger like this. Every chapter has ended with you going to a new location, and you're still technically in the city here, so I'm not really sure what's going to be happening. We'll have to wait and see. I'm guessing this mole guy probably has some sort of information on Mr. P, or maybe Miss P comes down from the building and you guys link up and try and figure out what's going on. Maybe that happens too. One other thing that is also very interesting though is obviously this is like an apocalypse situation because around the city are tons of cars that are just missing people inside of them. They're rusting, they're overturned, they're on fire. So obviously this has been going on for a while now, and that means there's probably a lot of infected people. So Mr. P is infecting a lot of people here. And the interesting thing is everyone else seems to not know he's the bad guy because he works at a hospital. He's trying to fund the cure, and it seems like we're the only ones that know he's the bad guy. So what's gonna be happening next? I don't know. Let me know all of your theories down below, and I'm gonna start covering a lot more Piggy stuff, especially now that Jailbreak and Piggy is starting to come together, doing like a cool collab event. So if you enjoyed this and you want to know more, you want to learn more, you want to stay up to date with everything Piggy and Jailbreak, make sure you're subscribed, and let me know down below if you did subscribe and you are new to the channel, and I'll try and heart your comments, say thank you, all that stuff. And obviously keep using star code RealKreek as well. It helps me out, allows me to buy a lot of Robux codes for you guys, so I really appreciate that. Thank you guys very much. Keep using star code RealKreek, and I will see you guys in the next video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.